fair to say the indie game scene is flourishing. Perhaps free from the play-it-safe constraints of certain bigger-budgeted AAA titles, indies instead are a hotbed of artistic creativity, innovation, and unusual gameplay mechanics, culminating in experiences that are oftentimes extraordinary. Trek to Yomi. Widescreen action-adventure Trek to Yomi features striking presentation, taking influence from the style and direction of 1950s Japanese cinema, with swift swordplay typical of Kurosawa samurai movies. Developer Flying Wild Hog promises an engrossing tale steeped in mythical Japanese storytelling. You'll take charge of swordsman Hiroki, journeying through feudal Japan and battling the forces of evil in defense of the townspeople you've sworn to protect. There's a cloud of tension present in Trek to Yomi's announcement trailers, with enemy encounters over in a flash, their brutal death met in the blink of an eye. Reliable indie publisher Devolver Digital states that Trek to Yomi is coming in 2022 to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC via Steam. Weird West. Another Devolver Digital title, Weird West is an action-adventure RPG developed by Wolfeye Studios, comprising ex-Arcane staff, giving us high hopes of an immersive sim based on the team's pedigree as co-developers of Dishonored and Prey. With its dark fantasy reimagining of the American frontier, Weird West is dense with shady characters, bounty hunters, outlaws, cursed monsters, and witches all roam through the game's mysterious locales. Weird West offers players a unique campaign, with its variety of playable anti-hero stories intertwining as they face random encounters and side missions whilst forging through the game's main storyline. Combat also looks to thrill, with shootout survival depending on effective weapon loadouts chosen on the fly. We can expect Weird West to release March 31st on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Loot River. Loot River is a dungeon-shifting roguelike, blending tense combat with Tetris-like block-shifting environmental puzzles, demanding players balance several priorities to successfully navigate through the game's labyrinth procedurally generated levels. There's scope for forging creative pathways here. The gameplay trailer shows enemy hordes flocking to one platform before the player slides the connecting block away, marooning enemies before gliding onto the next screen. Like all good roguelikes, Loot River promises unique playthrough potential. Armed with the power of the Relic, players will navigate through its dark fantasy dungeons in search of knowledge that'll upgrade a variety of weapons and special abilities, ready to take on the hordes in the next run. Featuring hard-drawn pixel art with astounding fluid water animations, Loot River launches onto Xbox and PC via Steam sometime in 2022. TUNIC. TUNIC tells the story of a delightfully animated fox undertaking a huge quest through an isometric land filled with lost legends, ancient powers, and ferocious monsters. Developer and publisher Finju have a history of crafting meaningful experiences, exemplified in memorable titles Chicory, A Colorful Tale, and Night in the Woods. We anticipate a tale enriched by deep exploration in TUNIC, with its many secrets demystifying after decoding the game's unknown runic language, manifesting on-screen and via discoverable in-game instruction manuals. What we do know after playing last year's demo is TUNIC blends its Zelda-like exploration with multi-layered level design with unexpectedly challenging combat. However, there's an altogether playful aesthetic to TUNIC, with enemies purring cutely on attack, perhaps hinting at encounters that'll feel fair as much as they're frustrating. TUNIC lands on Xbox and PC on March 16th. Hollow Knight, SILKSONG. Perhaps the most hotly anticipated indie game on this list, Hollow Knight, SILKSONG feels like it's been in the works forever after being announced in 2019. Developer team Cherry have been notoriously tight-lipped on SILKSONG's release, but now, SILKSONG finally appears to be on the near horizon, with strong rumors pointing to a 2022 release, perhaps even as early as February. Featuring new series protagonist Hornet, who you'll remember as Princess Protector of Hallownest, a memorable ascent to the peak of a shining citadel, with ancient mysteries and treasures to uncover through vast interconnected kingdoms of coral forests, mossy grottos, and gilded cities. Expect plenty of aerial action too, with Hornet dancing between enemies in beautiful, deadly combat, battling beasts, assassins, kings, and monsters. Hollow Knight, SILKSONG launches on PC, Mac, and Linux, and initially as a Nintendo Switch console exclusive. Silt. First-time developer Spiral Circus aims to capture the creepy atmosphere of games such as Limbo and Little Nightmares with this upcoming underwater puzzle adventure. In Silt, you'll play as a deep-sea diver plunging through the murky depths of an unexplored ocean, encountering strange creatures whilst discovering an ancient mystery. As unsettling as the hand-drawn abyss may seem, players need to use the environment to their advantage by possessing its diverse sea creatures and utilizing their abilities to solve Silt's environmental puzzles. Spiral Circus are targeting an early 2022 release for Silt on PC via Steam. TERRA. Yes, it's another Devolver Digital title. 2022 is shaping up to be a marquee year for indie game developers. TERRA is a reverse city builder, with players rewilding arid wasteland, transforming into fertile ecosystems, complete with lush vegetation, dense forests, and wetlands. TERRA continues the trend of super chill, cozy games which came to prominence last year. Its soothing soundtrack laps beneath a verdant audio palette, creating an altogether meditative experience not unlike last year's Cloud Gardens or Townscaper. Procedurally generated environments ensure player focus remains throughout multiple playthroughs. Expect TERRA to release sometime in 2022 on the PC via Steam. WINDJAMMERS 2. Fresh from revitalizing Sega's iconic brawler in Streets of Rage 4, Dotemu are back with another legendary arcade classic. This time, it's the sequel to a 90s competitive disc thrower, WINDJAMMERS. WINDJAMMERS 2 certainly captures the nostalgic flavor of the original, with its sickly animated, vibrant art style supporting feisty gameplay as players compete in top-down air hockey matchups. WINDJAMMERS 2 features new characters, each with unique power moves, plus more stages, local and online multiplayer, and enhanced game modes. Curse to Golf. This 2D platforming roguelike golf adventure tasks players with taking on 18 dungeon-like holes through golf purgatory, ridding themselves of a curse and becoming a golfing legend. The game's courses flow through 4 distinct areas, with traditional golfing obstacles such as ponds and bunkers butting up against goofy hazards like fans, TNT, spikes, and teleporters. And just like real golf, there's a par for the course, so every shot counts. Curse to Golf looks to offer an imaginative, fun, and altogether fresh take on the roguelike genre. With a host of memorable characters and insane power-ups to discover, we're banking on tons of replayability too. Curse to Golf is releasing sometime in 2022 on the Nintendo Switch and PC. NORCO. Blending science fiction and gothic is a combination we don't see often, yet upcoming point-and-click adventure NORCO looks to weave the hallmarks of each game into an immersive story which scrutinizes the downtrodden effects of technology on society through the lenses of the absurd. Set against the backdrop of Louisiana, you'll take control of family outcast Kay as she follows her fugitive cyborg through industrial swamplands and decaying city blocks in search of her missing brother. The surreal, eerie environments of NORCO are encapsulated in the beautiful, tasteful, and sometimes grotesque pixel art. Fans of literary-focused games such as Kentucky Route Zero or Disco Elysium will have a lot to love here. As present, there is no release date for NORCO, but an expanded PC demo has just released on Steam. Death Trash. Death Trash is a cosmic, post-apocalyptic action RPG set within grungy ruins on a planet of stone, metal, and flesh. Taking influence from early Fallout titles, Death Trash's enemies take the form of cold machines, grotesque lifeforms, and punks with shotguns, with the one-man development team claiming everything can be killed if the player chooses so. In fact, the player choice seems to be the heart of Death Trash's design decisions. Choose to brawl with opponents, puke on them, shoot from range, or stealthily avoid. Craft items or pickpocket your upgrades. Death Trash is expected to come out of early access in summer. It'll certainly release on PC and Mac via all the usual stores, with consoles to follow. Vigilance 2099. The saturated, neon-lit, rain-soaked city streets of Vigilant 2099 bear more than a passing resemblance to Blade Runner. In this open-world RPG, you'll play as a bounty hunter tasked with rising through a criminal empire whilst earning money on bounties to spend on weapons and power-ups. There are choices to be made. whether killing or capturing a bounty. It's up to you. Drive or fly vehicles to explore Prey City's cyberpunk skyrises, run, walk, or even climb and leap parkour style atop balconies over narrow alleyways. Vigilance 2099's premise hints at sandbox-style mission design, so it'll be interesting to see if all this ambition comes to fruition. There's currently no release window for Vigilance 2099, so it could be 2023 before this promising title sees the light of day. Chinatown Detective Agency. This cyber-noir point-and-click adventure marries retro presentation with dense interweaving narrative. Playing as a newly minted private investigator with an agency to manage, you'll travel the globe from your base in Singapore, interviewing witnesses, searching for clues, and apprehending criminals, all whilst unraveling an overarching mystery of international conspiracy. Managing the needs of both well-intentioned and immoral clients alongside your agency's cash flow looks to inject a spot of realism into the neon-tinged retro future. Dated as coming soon on the game's Steam page, Chinatown's Detective Agency has a free prologue which you can play in the meantime. Hindsight. Looking to offer a touching spin on the value of sentiment, Hindsight asks, what if the physical objects we hold so dear were windows into the past? Hindsight is a narrative-focused experience with dreamlike pastoral presentation and gameplay offering players the chance to enter and explore memories. If Hindsight can encapsulate the tactile feel of revisiting a childhood home, then it looks to be truly special indeed. Another title on this list from behemoth Annapurna Interactive, Hindsight has no official release window yet. We expect it'll be out sometime soon in 2022 on iOS and PC via Steam and Nintendo Switch.
And with that, we've reached the end of this video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every day on GamingBolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.